All right, this Parents Raising Athletes, Learning with Active Kids. Fellas, all right, you can start, you can get ready to start your video. All right, you can start the video. You can start the video. Start the show.
Can you imagine being so broke that you don't even have $300 to chase your dreams? And on top of all that, you're in $200,000 worth of student loan debt. Well, that was Ryan Coogler's situation.
All right,
Well,
pause
that
it.
was before he.
All right, who are we studying right now?
Ryan Coogler.
Ryan who?
Coogler.
Do anybody know who Ryan Coogler is?
He was a director. Yeah. Yeah.
Tavion, do you know?
He's a director.
He's a director. All right. What movies did he direct? Why is he significant to
Black Panther. He created Science.
Black Panther, Creed, Sinners? Is your mic on?
Ow!
Calm down, Messiah.
Huh?
All right. So he's a director. Yours is on, and he directed and wrote. Be quiet, Messiah. He directed Black Panther, Creed, and Sinners. All right. All right. Play it.
Classics like Creed, Black Panther, and his latest box office smash, Sinners.
And not only have I seen Sinners twice, I'll go see Sinners time. No cap.
But you see, before all the fame and notoriety, he didn't have any bread. He needed a particular software in order to write his scripts, and he didn't have it. He told his wife about it, his then girlfriend, and the rest is history. But I let him tell it.
One day, she surprised me. I still don't know how she did it. When she bought it for me as a gift. And I'll be forever grateful to her for that.
He went from not having $300 to his name to an 8-figure net worth, all because his lady believed in him and invested in his dream. Ryan's story is a
All right,
testament.
pause it. Tavion. So Ryan Coogler is the director. During this time, he had how much money to his name?
Only like $300.
Like $300, and that's give or take. It might be round up or round down, right?
Yes.
Who believes in him?
Messiah.
Who believes in him?
His wife.
Don't say nothing else. Be quiet. His wife, right? But just his girlfriend. Now, most females, most women, if you don't have $300 to your name, that's a meal for them. That's why y'all can't get caught up in this social media stuff where females are talking about how much you gotta have to take them out to eat and etc. If you wasn't eating like that before me, you ain't eating like that after me, right? And you definitely, I don't need you to eat like that with me because I could eat like that twice then. All right. So now, if he had the money, he would have already put out his dreams. He would have already worked hard to get whatever going. Didn't even have the money, wasn't even considering that he would be in a position to have it. And the last thing you're gonna do is ask somebody who you have no ties with to go and get you something that you can't even afford yourself as a man. As a man is almost demeaning and degrading. But when you have that right or correct woman, then it's a lot easier. You feel me? Your dreams and goals are now her purpose. Like she's gonna make sure that you accomplish them because she's gonna make sure that you're pushing forward, right? So this little segment is about 15 seconds. At the most, let's say it's about a minute. It's about a minute, and it's talking about who?
Ryan Coogler.
Ryan Coogler. All that he achieved, all that he's done as a young black man and having a dream, correct?
Yeah.
You two don't say nothing because we went through these studies before, right? But let me ask him. Who is this about again? Who name do you know?
Ryan Coogler. It's really about his wife.
It's about his wife. As young black men, it's important to be able to pick up on stuff like that. This ain't about him. This is about his wife. This is about his wife believing in him. His wife, before she was his wife, saying that his dream was worthwhile achieving. Saying that he can actually do it. Stop. Saying that he can actually do it. That's what it's about. It has nothing to do with Ryan Coogler besides the fact that he was the vessel that she believed in. You feel me? This is all about one person, and it is who?
His wife.
What's her name? Exactly. Exactly. Her name is never mentioned. The most important person in this story, name is not mentioned one time. A woman can either push you forward or she can pull you back. You get that. You run track. Y'all play football and run track. You got to go to practice. She wants you to come over. You got to go to practice. She wants you to sit on the phone and talk. I got to get off the phone about the practice. You practiced yesterday. Why you got to practice today? Is there somebody y'all need in your corner knowing what y'all do? It is not. It is not by no means anybody you need to have in your corner knowing what you do. It isn't. Because you're going to be placed in a position where you're going to be racing people. And those people don't have the same distractions that you have. And now that you have those distractions, those are also elements that the devil is using to make sure you don't achieve what you need to achieve. Right? So now her being a female friend, when I say friend, because now I'm going to take it to your friends, your male friends, what's the difference? If I got male friends that are around me that are telling me, hey man, I don't have to do push-ups. Hey man, I don't have to do this before I go to bed. I don't have to do this to accomplish nothing. Then why would I? Because I'm gonna start feeling like, why I gotta do all of this stuff? Why is this such a burden on me? I'm gonna start feeling like that. But I'm only feeling like that because I got this white noise outside interference over here that I don't need. If your friends are not pushing you forward, they're holding you back. Do you get that?
Yes, sir.
If I got everything that's around me, already my parents, already my girlfriend, and my friends that are pushing me forward to achieve my goal, it's absolutely impossible to not accomplish them. There's no way that you could slip up and neither one of your support system gonna pull you up. As a man, there's no way you're gonna slip up and that your wife is not gonna say, calm down, relax, you got this. Automatic. And you gotta realize that the people you appoint to be a part of your life is determined by you. One, you teach people how to treat you. You teach people how to be around you. And if you allow that, it's on you. So you're either gonna remove those people and move forward, or those people are gonna be in your corner pushing you forward regardless. But you decide that. This man's wife name isn't mentioned not one time in this story, but we know who he is. And mind you, we all applaud his situation. We even applaud the fact that he's a man who recognized that situation, because a lot of people don't recognize what they have until it's gone. He recognized he would not be where he's at if it wasn't for having a good wife, if it wasn't for being smart enough to pick his wife, which come from his parents and what they instilled in him and what he should have in a woman. You feel me?
Yes.
While at the same time, the one person we don't know the name of in this story is his wife. So one minute you want to say this is a Black history story and a Black history moment where we're learning about a young man who's of African descent, of color, and he's amazing. The next minute we just mentoring young men, telling them how to pick a woman. The most disrespectful woman in the world is a black woman. Her name ain't even mentioned. Amazing story, but is it? Her name not even mentioned. And she still held her crown high. Not trying to take no life from him. Still pushing her man forward in his dreams. And yes, it's benefited her greatly, but his dream would only be a thought if she didn't get the money, and he had no idea how she got the money. Right? So to this day, he said, I still don't know how she got the money. But that means that she was saving up when he was trying to figure it out. She was in motion while he was still. And then she reached back and pulled him forward, knowing that she catapulted him to a whole nother level of himself. If you can't help me be a better me, I don't need you. You get that? If you can't help me be a better me, I don't need you. All right? As young black men, it's 4 of y'all. If y'all not helping your brother be a better him, you're failing him. Realize who you are in his life, and either he remove you or you remove you. That's if you love him. All right?
Yes, sir.
Let's go to the next story. Or finish this one out and go to the next.
And a good woman by your side. Somebody that believes in you and is willing to see your vision. The results speak for themselves.
Let's go to what I would like to hear. Skip that one. Skip that one. Let's check on vaccinations. Matter of fact, yeah, this one right here.
I'm sure everybody heard about the bans on food dye by 2028, but there's something interesting in this video you should listen to.
Just unknown when I was a kid. I never knew anybody with a peanut allergy. I never knew anybody with a food allergy. Why do 5 of my 7 kids have allergies?
So he said he doesn't know where the allergies are coming from. Let's talk about where it is. Peanut allergy used a new vaccine, started in 1964 by Merck.
So now, we're talking about, he said he never knew anybody with a peanut allergy. But now it's mandatory, mind you, mandatory comes in many ways. I can tell you, you don't have to get something until you can't get this job until you get it. Were they doing that at one point? They were. They were telling actors, actresses, federal government employees that if you don't get this vaccination, you can't keep your job, or you won't get the next job. Or when you're going in for the interview, they will ask you, do you have this vaccination? If you say no, they just cannot call you back. They ain't gotta call you back. They never said why they didn't call you back. And you can't say discrimination. So it's ways of them making you get something that they're not saying you gotta have, but you gotta have it. So now, the peanut allergy is placed in a vaccination. Why would I want that? They're setting you up to automatically get diseases and you don't even know why you're getting them. Makes no sense. They'll tell you that you have cancer while they just did a biopsy on the cancer cell. But you know how they do that biopsy? They poke a hole in it. So now, isn't it bleeding or isn't it leaking? Bleeding is another word of saying leaking without the blood idea. But isn't it leaking?
Yes.
Okay, if it's leaking in your body, isn't the cancer spreading to the other parts of your body? And then you know what they're gonna tell you? The cancer has spread it to this. And you're like, oh my God, the cancer spread to this. But it's because they did the biopsy, not because it's spreading. You get it?
Yes.
Pay attention to your doctors and what they're trying to do to you. Know what they're trying to do to you before they do it, because the treatment itself is what's killing you. Quicker. All right? Plant.
The same people who own the EpiPen. Then somebody could say, what about shellfish allergies? Well, squalene right here, that's fish. What about gelatin allergies? Same exact thing, vaccinating you with that so you're allergic to it. Then we have ragweed and pollen, making people allergic to pollen. And then we also have penicillin, making people allergic.
So now, all y'all be sneezing, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Every time there's pollen out, we all have a problem with pollen. When you all have a problem with pollen. You don't think your mom and her mom all got the vaccination that has ragweed in it? Like it says, as early as 1959, researchers found that mice could be made severely, y'all sneeze bad, could be made severely allergic to grass pollen by using and adjutant. And they put that in the vaccines, and people walk around and talking about they're allergic to pollen, or that they can't stop sneezing, they have allergies, and don't know why. They think that they were just born with something, not knowing that this was predated before they even came about, because it was put in their mom, their mama's mom, and whoever, including them, and you're teaching everybody to go get this vaccine. But it's in the vaccine. All right?
Vaccinating people and then making them sensitive to those things. And it gets even deeper when you get into autism and all the mercury in the vaccines, and there's plenty of doctors who've talked about this. And many people don't know that the Patriot Act, take off your shoes and belt, the politicians actually got together and put a little clause in there to protect the vaccine companies from mercury autism injuries. Almost like they knew. And speaking of acts that protect the vaccine companies from lawsuits, you have the 2005 PrEP Act, which protects the pandemic vaccines. And then you also have the 1986 Shield Vaccine Act, which was put in place because in 1985, there were so many lawsuits against vaccines causing so many injuries, autism, allergies, the whole thing, that they had to put something in place, otherwise they were all going to go out of business.
So now, back then, they were already getting sued. People already realized I wasn't getting this until I started getting this treatment, preventive treatment. The preventive treatment is literally giving you the diseases. That's why we have so many new diseases that are more active than what they should be. First, you create a disease. Then you create a cure and only give it to the people that have insurance. Now, the people that are dying are going and buying little medication and stuff that's also getting you money. Never get caught up in the next best thing when somebody's telling you they're giving it to you for free. They're giving you free vaccines, free test kit, but then you go get the test kit and there's something on the swab. You don't need to get tested. If you got it, you got it. I guarantee. Pay attention to this, and the reason why I'm passing it to you all, because we don't have y'all doing it, but pay attention to this, because when you all get y'all kids, I want you to know why you're saying no. And they're going to talk to you as if you're wrong, which I appreciate Bryson, because they were trying to tell Bryson to do what?
Put on sunscreen.
To put on sunscreen.
UV rays.
To protect him from UV rays so he won't get skin cancer. Dumbest thing I ever heard in my life. Now that I know better, you do better. Put on sunscreen, you're actually putting on chemicals that get baked into your skin. It's bad for you. They can cause cancer. The actual sun and the UV rays that they're saying that you need to protect yourself from is actually the rays that help your melanin in your skin prevent cancer and create vitamin D. It also goes in the back of your eye and does the same thing. The UV rays that they're saying, these are the rays that you really want to protect, not just the regular sun, as if he was agreeing with them. And I was like, no, that's not right. That's the actual rays that prevent this and create the process that you need to help kill off cancer. So be able to articulate yourself, be able to at least know, I don't want this for my kids, so I'm gonna pass this information to my kids. Be able to give out that information, okay? All right.
I'm big on books that tell the truth. Here's one that will just blow your mind. And last but not least, I'm going to leave it right here. 1885. Vaccinate, vaccinate, vaccinate. There's money in it. Money in the side effects. And professionals getting bribed to vaccinate people. So, we should look into all these things.
Move to the next. Let's go to one more Black History one, and then we'll call it a day, okay? So let's talk about Burkina Faso, Ibrahim Traore.
This man, Ibrahim Traore, leader of Burkina Faso, has been given the empire help.
Can you do a different one? You talked about it like 3 times.
We talked about it 3 times, but we never recorded it. I know.
This man, Ibrahim Traore, leader of Burkina Faso, has been given the empire help since he took over.
All right. Tell me what he's been doing since we talked about it 3 times, and you should be an expert.
He's been helping. Well, first of all, his country is really poor, and he be giving them.
Let's start there. Let's start there with a correction. If you have in your possession, let's talk about dollars. You have $1 million on you, are you poor? Okay, so if you got $1 million and you give me $1, right?
Yes, sir.
I take that dollar and I create $30 million from your dollar, right? So I'm rich, I'm super rich. I took that $1, I made $30 million off of your $1. So to me, you're technically kind of poor. But are you really poor?
No, sir.
I'm saying that to say this. The majority of the nations, gold, diamonds, and etc. comes from there. From Africa. How can they be poor? I'm gonna tell you how they're poor. Because the French, China, United Kingdom, all go over there and steal from over there and give them stuff for pennies on the dollar. So they take their gold, they take they be taking their land, they be setting up businesses there, they set up resorts there, and just for their people. They're setting all this up there for their people. How can I take diamonds from a place and jewels from a place and turn around and sell it for millions, but I say that place is poor? How is that place poor? Because I'm making sure they stay poor, so they will always need my pennies. You see how they work?
Yes, sir.
Literally, the absolute thing that the rest of the world is saying that our riches comes from there. Your phone would not work if the mineral that comes from there, they didn't have. But every single person, including little kids, have a cell phone in their hand. We got at least 5 cell phones in our house that are not being used. It comes from over there. But they're poor. And when you don't know no better, that's why you allow certain stuff to be had or said. Like it's said that they're poor. And that's why Ibrahim Traore is cutting that mess out. The elected officials, he cut their pay. And he's giving the money back to the service people around it, like the police officers, etc., and the military people that's working people. You see what he's doing? He kicked out the French, kicked out the airline. They can't fly out of there no more because he's making sure that their money, their gold, their services stay in his country. Now they want him dead because of this exact reason. And then, mind you, there have been other people, other leaders that they have had that have done the same thing, and they killed them. So they would kill the man in his house and move somebody else in because that person is going to agree with him and he don't want to die. Who wants to die, right? So since he don't want to die, when America say, hey, we're going to start giving vaccinations to you all, they say, okay. Because he don't want to die. And he's going to turn to his people and speak on it like he agree with it when really he's just scared for his life. He's been placed in position because he's going to be the yes man. Since he's not a yes man, that's where the problem come in at. Then he said he would stop and they offer him to be one of in the elite category, right? As long as you do what we tell you to do. There's always a price to pay. And guess what this little 33-year-old said? No. They offered him an opportunity to be part of the elite. And he said, no. Who does that? When they can't control you, like P. Diddy, Puffy, Sean Combs, that's where this come from. So you're looking confused, like what did one have to do with the other because he's controlled. So now we're gonna talk about the house Negro and what do he do now? You know they call him talent, rappers, actors and actresses. They call them talent now, as opposed to those are the house Negroes, and they make sure that they're doing what they're supposed to do and people are following them, so they're not trying to achieve nothing. You feel me?
Yes, sir.
All right.
2022, a then 34-year-old Ibrahim helped to take his country back from the French and has been running the show ever since. He then kicks out all French troops, kicks out all French diplomats, and they couldn't do a damn thing about it. So, of course, France sanctioned Burkina Faso for trying to maintain autonomy of their own nation. And how does Ibrahim in Burkina Faso respond to sanctions, refusal of IMF loans, and refusal to engage with the World Bank at all? Their GDP grows from 18 billion in 2022 when he took over to roughly 22 billion not even 2 years later, despite the sanctions. He cut the pay of lawmakers and parliamentarians and increased the pay of civil servants. To make Burkina Faso's economy more self-reliant, he started cultivating the industries within the country, like how he created this tomato processing plant. He also stopped sending all the unrefined gold to Europe. So, yeah, that's...
See that? They're sending their gold to Europe. Why? We're poor. Why are we sending you gold? You give them a point?
Yeah.
But we're the poorest nation in the world.
Stay in the pockets of the people of Burkina Faso. Now, he's been having to do all this while simultaneously fighting off terrorist organizations that are, of course, 100% funded by the West. 100%. Yet, he's remained undeterred. And I'm not going to lie. He's starting to remind me a lot of this guy, Thomas Sankara. Sankara was the OG liberator of Burkina Faso. The French had him assassinated because he did a lot of the same things Ibrahim is doing right now, and because they didn't want other African nations following the example of Burkina Faso and Sankara. But it looks like in a positive way for once, history is repeating itself, which is why we gotta protect Ibrahim at all costs and also make sure that we celebrate the triumphs of this man and his government, because we need more of this in Africa. And we have to shine a light on him during his success, or else
I'll move to the next. I want to move to one last thing, actually. What I was just telling you about. Going over. Oh, you know what? Let's go here. Let's go here.
Black people do not have a history of oppression and violence towards Jews. We've never burned any synagogues. We've never lynched any Jews. And we've never taken jobs away from Jews just because we didn't like what they had to say. Oh, the Jewish folks...
Right now we have Jews in our country. People that say they're Jews, we're the original Jews. Let's not ever be confused about that. You're a Jew. All right? So now the people that say that they're Jews, the white Jews, they run our TV, they run our social media, they run all of our anything that you could put out, information, news, they run it, they own it. They've taken over all of that while being in this country. Same thing they were doing in Germany, which is why Adolf Hitler was trying to get them out of the country. Before putting them in concentration camps, they was also told to leave, and they did not. And they're not from Germany. Do you get it now? So they weren't in Germany being mistreated. They was in somebody else's country trying to be exterminated or trying to be gotten out of the country. Let's start there. Now, the same thing that they did there, they're doing here, like they're over banks, which is where you put your money at. We're going to also talk about how to create your own bank and be your own bank and have your own family bank, all right? But the Jews, when you say something that we supposed to have freedom of speech, right? I'm supposed to be able to say how I feel, but when you say how you feel, there's consequences. You won't have a job. Or they'll offer you, you're going to speak at this award thing where you make all this money, but now you can't do it unless you apologize to these people. See how that works? What they have to do, one have to do with the other. Because you're supposed to be going off of my fame, right? Easy, because going off of your fame isn't given to you. I mean, going off of your fame isn't always earned by you. Sometimes they give it to you so they can direct you to where they want you to be. You feel me? Let's go.
Certainly have a history of violence and oppression towards black folks. Let's deal with it. The Anti-Defamation League is notorious for labeling black folks anti-Semitic. But let's take a look at the ADL's founder. Leo Frank is one of the founding fathers of the ADL. This man murdered a white child and blamed two black folks.
So now, the people that monitor you, if you're saying something that you should not be saying, that you're not doing something that you should not be doing. The person who found it killed the child and blamed it on two black people. So how much do you think are there for black people? Because this company exists right now. Sit down, Messiah, sit down. How much do you think that they're not targeting black people when the person who started the company is a white man who literally framed two black people for killing a child, a white child that obviously he don't care about his own race either, right?
Yeah.
That's why you gotta watch the devil that you're surrounded by, because it ain't always the devil you don't know. Sometimes it's the devil you know and the devil you don't know. Watch them both, I promise you. They're the same. Like it ain't like one is better than the other. It ain't like Democrat and Republican. They're the same exact coin. Just two different sides of it, the same. Same exact direction, two different methods. Let's go.
Didn't want any Negro evidence presented in open court, and he's quoted as saying, "If you put a nigger in a hopper, he'll drip lies." Oh, this truth hurt, don't it? Judah P. Benjamin. Who is he? Judah P. Benjamin.
Who is that? Judah P. Benjamin. Anybody know who this is?
Was he the chairman of the ADF?
Of the ADF? He's the chairman of the Ku Klux Klan.
Oh.
This white man right here is not only Jewish, he started the KKK. All right? So we don't have no evidence of nobody black who's directing all their anger and negative attention and killing people, genocide and other people. We don't have no evidence of that. Well, let's correct that. We'll get back to that too, because in Africa, we also did that to our people, or did it to the Jews or whatever in Africa, which was us. All right. But we don't have no evidence doing it to somebody, another race. So when they speak about how good they are, and this person's a criminal, and this person is that, this man, who is Jewish, started the KKK. You feel me? And we know what they do. All right, let's go.
Jewish lawyer and enslaver of 140 human beings on his Louisiana plantation. He was vice president of the Confederacy and its Secretary of War. So significant was Benjamin to the slaveholders that his picture was on Confederate money. This man was on their bread. Check this out. After the Civil War, Benjamin fled America, taking multiple bales of cotton with him in order to finance his life in exile. He used these slave-picked cotton profits to invest in a newly forming terrorist group known as the Ku Klux Klan. So if you think I'm here to tell...
So now, know that what y'all deal with now didn't start now. This stuff that's been going on for years before y'all were even born, before I was born. Y'all ain't special. People been hating us for a long time. Y'all ain't just getting hated. The only problem with you all, y'all don't see it coming. I don't want y'all to ever think that the stuff that happened in the past was in the past. I don't want y'all ever to wait for somebody to tell y'all information that I can tell y'all myself. Malcolm X said to wait on your enemies, or to have your enemies educate your kids. It's stupid. And I think so too. There's no way I would let or wait for somebody to tell you something that I can tell you and teach you myself. And that's why we have these classes. All right?
Founder of the KKK was Jewish? You damn right. Ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall most certainly set you free.
All right, we're going to stop it there. All right? Parents raising athletes, Black history. Like, subscribe, Anybody learn anything? Yeah? What'd you learn? This little guy right here with the cover on his head, what'd you learn?
That white dude, I forgot his name, but he had created, I know he was Jewish and he
I'd like for you to talk into the microphone.
No, they keep turning off. Every time I turn it on.
Alright, so it might be dead.
Yeah. He created the KKK.
Uh-huh. And what else did you learn? What did you learn, Bryson? Well, what did you learn, Tavion, since you like to say we didn't talk about this already? What did you learn?
The only thing I learned was about the vaccination thing.
That was the only thing new?
Yes, sir.
So you already knew the other stuff because we talked about it.
Yes.
That's how I want you to be. I want you to be in class with your teachers and stuff, and they're trying to teach you something new, but they're giving you that one lesson that they said you don't really have to do, and you already have the information on it. You feel me? I don't want this stuff to be new to you, and I don't want y'all to feel like y'all been taught anything when you're going to school, because it's gonna be watered down if you are. You get that? If they're giving you anything, how much are they really giving you? Like if we waited for them to teach you about Black history, Black studies, how much are you really getting? They're gonna give you what they want and what they feel that the other white kids in class can accept. I'm not waiting for that. I'm gonna give you the raw, uncut truth so you know exactly what their grandparents and great-great-great-grandparents think and will do, just to protect their own. So when you're going for a job, you know that this is why we do the extra stuff. Now, once you're in that position, you can make whatever moves you want to make. But you got to get in that position. So you got to know your obstacles that you're going up against. What hurdles am I about to face? All right?
Yes.
All right. Love y'all. Takes the village, homie.